For today's cup of coffee with Scream.
Cup of coffee.
Kid hit his first paid day at work.
Yeah. Working 9 to 5.
Well, he was
What a
today.
way to make a living, barely getting by.
He just had OSHA training, basically.
And then some.
OSHA is a good thing.
It was not just OSHA training. Like, seriously, that was a little blip of it. Like, seriously, compared to the rest of the stuff, it was a blip. I had to take a test on it. There's tests.
Yes. You have to take the test. They have to present the information. You take a test on the information. You sign off. You get scored on those things a lot of times. You sign off that you indeed did have the opportunity to learn the information. And our society has gotten to that level because, my God, litigation happy for years.
You know, and I just realized I didn't sign out of that computer.
It'll be all right. It will probably time out or whatever, and if you do it wrong, they have your phone number. I'm sure they understood that it was first day. Everybody's overwhelmed on the first day. That's just how it goes. But it tries to prevent people from every OSHA anything has come from somebody doing something remarkably stupid. Remarkably.
Some of this shit, no joke, it's just common sense.
It is, but it's not common anymore. And when we as a society and a group of people have gotten to where you have to put on preparation H, do not take by the mouth, there's a problem.
And who's eating preparation H?
Well, you know, and then it's one of those, it's like that idiot that used the Gorilla Glue on her hair.
Yeah, but she made her mistake and, you know, she didn't sue the company, nothing. That was her bad.
I don't know. I thought that they said something that it wasn't marked properly. You can't, what was it? It was the Weed Eater
She got
booklet.
it out of the fucking hardware section.
Yeah.
That is enough of an indicator.
That it's not in today's world. Not when you've got people that want something for nothing. And that's how that rolls. It was like the new Weed Eater. I had looked at the booklet there a couple of days ago as far as, because we had a different Weed Eater head that it was used the kind of string where you had two of them and you inserted in there. Anyhow, spare you the details. But this one uses where it's got like a spindle, where you wrap the Weed Eater twine around it and you just tap it and it lets out more lines. So I like that.
You can't tap it hard. You can't tap it
It
hard.
ain't a hammer.
No.
It ain't a hammer.
And you can't tap it.
It's a steel Weed Eater. It's a new steel Weed Eater.
This is why I don't say.
Anyhow.
Dude.
Anyhow, like I said, I had a carburetor blow up in a Troy built on me. I'm thank God that the casing was better on, that was the best part of the entire Weed Eater. I will never buy another Troy built nothing. I mean, that was dangerous. That really was.
Yeah, the fact that it exploded.
Yeah. I mean, I picked it up and went to crank it and it just like shrapnel in there. Mm-hmm. But the whole book, it doesn't even tell you how to put the twine on the thing. Every bit of it had the little warning triangles.
It was
the
all
whole
warning.
Damn thing.
It was all warning, no instruction.
Yeah. So we have got to that level of stupid.
I had to learn what the warning signs on labels meant.
Mm-hmm.
All that. I had to learn where the eye flushing station was and the fact that you have to flush your eyes out for 15 minutes.
Yes, if it's a chemical something, yes you do.
Yeah. So that was...
But
that was fun. And the rest of it, literally... What? Okay, how many hours? 8 hours?
Yeah.
9 to 5?
Yeah.
Okay. Shit. 8 hours sitting in a chair.
Yeah.
Staring at a screen.
Yeah.
Watching videos. And I'm still not fucking done with everything.
Well, it's just, that's just how it rolls on it.
Oh,
but it was information
my
you
God.
need to know. The world used to not be this way. It, honest to God, didn't. That you could say, hey, stacking boxes, stack those cans, different things like that. You could go through in a grocery store and you didn't have all these dented cans that you had to worry about.
Yeah.
Now they had a special section for dented cans that it was a reduced price. Not now.
Nope. Those are standard. Those are right on the shelf.
Yeah, and it's wrong. And I'm not saying it's just about the city of food. It's everywhere. And the amount of insanity.
It said to remove the damaged product. So, that's what I'm going to be doing. And
right.
Unless they tell me otherwise.
Yeah.
That's...
And let somebody else.
Cans.
Let somebody else make that call of whether it is too dented or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a day of watching tutorials, basically. Tutorials. Yeah. It's like a point. What the fuck? PowerPoint thing.
Mm-hmm.
What? Dude, I do not need to watch a 10-minute video of phishing emails when we are in the year of 2025. I already know how to look for phishing emails and stuff.
Are you
like
all
that.
even going to have computer access?
Huh?
Will you all have computer access?
Yeah. Not that often. To the ones that are upstairs if we need something, whatever.
I mean, why even tell... If you were going to be office staff, I could understand that. I have no idea why in the hell somebody who is a stalker would need to know about phishing emails.
That's the thing. A lot of this shit is not for my job description.
Yeah.
A lot of this stuff, but I still have to go through it.
Yes. Anyhow.
A dude somehow zipped through it. I'm like, I know you didn't read everything. I know you didn't watch everything.
He probably did not. That's to his. You do it the right way.
But I sat there the full 9 hours.
Do it the right way.
I took notes. I showed you the notes.
You did. I'm proud of you. You did. He took notes and everything.
Now, towards the end, when it hit that 4-hour mark, I started doodling on the paper because I'm like, shit, I'm tired.
I can understand that. I mean, when you have to sit there and do shit.
I started letting a video play and I just doodled.
Well, which video was it?
Something that was not of my job description.
Okay. Let's hope that it wasn't. Did you get tested on it?
No.
Well, that's
There's
good.
A bunch of them that I just have to sit there and watch it. At a certain point also, if I knew that I was not going to need that information, I clicked off. And it still counted. What?
I've got a lot of Virgo in my chart, and I've got a Libra rising. I will do it the way that they said to do it.
Why? If I'm going to be a bagger, not a bagger, a night stalker, why?
For me, it's just, and maybe that's what got me where I am today, is because I followed the rules. I don't know. It's just, I'm not saying one way or the other. That's a personal call. I mean, my God, the amount of years that I have probably cumulatively had to sit there and watch pointless, useless shit. That was like the 1 hour a week that you had to be at the office when, as far as the counseling job, to sit there and listen to them talk about random shit. That was a wasted day for me. That truly was. That put me behind for the rest of the week because I had to get 40 billable hours. And that wasn't easy. When you're working with kids and families and stuff, you have to work on their time, around their schedule.
You do.
And I would get home sometimes 6, 8, 10 o'clock at night. That didn't count as far as having to type up all the notes and stuff like that.
The newts.
The newts. I would have done better if I had worked at the City of Food. I probably would have come out ahead.
I can't tell you whether or not you would. I bet you would have.
Well,
you do good at any of your jobs.
It's too late now.
Mama, there are little old ladies working there.
I understand that, but it's just like I have issues. All those years of doing work that men should have been doing, and your mama was doing. There's a difference in how people are made.
There's no policy against family members working there. There's a dude that literally, his wife and kids work there.
Okay.
So,
I have no problem with any of that.
I could see you working in the bakery.
No, I can't stand it long, honey. That's the problem right now. You know, my spine.
Your spine.
My spine. Compression, dojo, all that stuff. Yeah.
In my own dojo.
It was in my own dojo. It was fun at the time. It really was. You just don't think about the long-term effects of like spine fractures. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't think about that.
No. Something else people don't think about. I have, and I actually did send Robert Phoenix a message that's like, wonder if. Now, we have seen some remarkable stupidity going on across our nation. And it's like, in New York City, they decided that it was a good idea for the Democratic Party to nominate a Muslim socialist because they bought into the lie of free shit. There ain't nothing free. There is nothing free.
Nothing.
And
unless you go out and dig your own dirt.
We see some of the things that's going on out in California, and I just got to pondering. You know, quite a few years ago, there were these groups, covens of witches that were casting spells against Donald Trump. They were very vocal about it. Mm-hmm. I wonder where these people lived. Could there have been a concentration of them out in certain places in California and in New York? Because if you do evil, it will return unto you sevenfold.
Yeah. Yeah, big time.
Are we seeing some of this stuff coming back?
I think to an extent, yeah. And it's a, in a way also generations. Mm-hmm. So generations of curses.
Yeah.
But also new curses that are being formed.
Yeah. Because there are individuals and areas, because you can have it. It's called a demonic stronghold, if you want to go into Christian terms. I actually read somebody had actually posted on X that they did not fear Sharia law, that they feared Christian nationalism. Now just ponder that just a second.
They got their shit twisted bad.
Uh-huh.
Do they really not know what Sharia law is?
I don't think they do. I really don't think they do. And
they need to go study it, thoroughly.
Yeah. Yeah. But I wonder if this is, when people get into these occult practices, and we're talking not some of these people that's just ignorant, the neo-pagans that are making it up as they go along. But as far as people who truly are doing some of these things and calling and summoning things, and I'm like, first of all, that's really, really stupid. Don't do that. Don't be summoning shit.
No.
If you think that you're going to control a supernatural force that can travel in between dimensions and is just waiting for you to be stupid, you think you're going to control that? Now that's a whole lot of hubris.
Mm-hmm. There's no way to control such things.
And we know that we have forces of darkness within our world that truly are trying to bring forth the old ones, if you want to go into the Lovecraftian terms.
Yeah, they don't know what they're fucking with.
No, but the forces of darkness definitely, they're opportunistic. And as far as useful idiots, yeah.
I mean, shit, I saw the last performance of Eivor that I saw.
Mm-hmm.
There was an energy.
It's summoning.
Yeah, it scared me.
Yeah, you can feel it. And I'm like, you don't know what you're trying to call forth.
No, you don't know.
So I wonder if that's part of what is going on in some of these areas and where they're doing what they're doing. Those of us that follow Christ, we'd be doing something totally different. And that is that spiritual warfare. Which, it's one of those, as far as the prayers, that God will let the tongues of liars cleave to the roofs of their mouths, if you want to go specific with it, because I can. And it is a matter of that the works of darkness are being brought to light. And everybody's looking at it. And if you've got a lick of sense, you're horrified. There is a spiritual blindness. And I think that is one of the things that is going on with these people. They truly do not understand.
No.
God is a God of sanity. Without him, guess what? What is left?
Chaos, insanity.
Absolutely. It's spirit of Leviathan. You've got the spirit of Jezebel. All kinds of demonic spirits floating around.
Yeah. It's not good.
No.
And all this was spurred by Alice Madness Returns.
It was, because we don't know exactly where inspiration comes from. And it's like, there are times that you can just be sitting there and all of a sudden it's like you connect a dot. And it's like, oh. And I'm just asking questions. But we've got spoopy season that we're 100 and some, we're less than 200 days from spoopy season. And everything that's going on in the world right now, it's ruined my Halloween. I'm a little bit resentful over that it's ruined my Halloween. Did last year. But when you're facing truly horrific, horrible shit, it's just, no, I'll sit here and carve a pumpkin and a turnip and stuff, and it just doesn't, it doesn't have the same, the spoopy season was the nice alternative to facing fear.
Yeah, it was.
We're having
Halloween is fantasy, and then versus reality.
Yeah, this is the reality. It is not, And I think everybody is, if you're any kind of news or whatever, and you can stay away from it, and it is healthy to take a break from all of it. But this is just the world as it is in this moment, and it's so in your face.
It is.
And you do have to be aware and cognizant and sit there and go, okay, I'm done for the day.
Have some self, preservation, control.
Yeah. Well,
know your
self-awareness.
Know your limits.
Self-awareness. But I wonder, it's like, are we seeing, and it does say that you will reap what you sow. Are these people reaping what they have sown? And with some of this stuff, honestly, you cannot talk sense to these people. I've heard lots of other people, it's like that they are almost in this frenzy. Okay, that sounds like they're bewitched.
Yeah, it does. But we know, shit, they're sending signals through the TVs. Everything's scrambling people's brains. And they're in one big satellite dish, basically.
Mm-hmm. You know, it was interesting because there was an old gentleman that every now and then he'll come across my feed on YouTube. And he's in his maybe 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And has, as far as the gift of prophecy. And I always take things like that with a grain of salt. He ain't hurting nobody with it. But what had been given to him, the word that had been given to him several days ago, something about a new moon. Well, now we've got a new moon tonight. But this was a matter of physical moon.
What?
Yeah.
Where the fuck where's it coming from?
I'll put a link to the video in the description box.
Why do we need a new moon? Where is it coming from?
God.
Okay.
And that it was going to function differently. That it wouldn't be a matter of reflecting light, but it was a matter that it would be a secondary light.
You know what? That's cool. How long? How long till the new moon's here?
Tonight. We're recording on the
25th
of June. I don't know. Like I said, I didn't sit there verbatim. I will put a link in the description box, and you can go and listen to what dude said. I always use discernment. Use discernment, anything that we're talking about.
Yeah. One big flashlight.
Yeah.
Except it's going. I hope that it has a good glow. A good, soft, sleepy glow.
Well, and it is a matter of keeping your eyes on the skies for real. Because there are things that are in Scripture as far as prophecy that does talk about things appearing in the skies.
You know what? You know what? This is the thing with me being able to work night shift. I can go out and smoke and look up there, and I will have a bit different point of view than
Well, unfortunately, any of those places like that, the light, the artificial lighting blocks out some of the other things that you could see.
That is true.
But while you're driving, but while you're driving and stuff like that.
Or I'm on the opposite side of the building where the light does not hit.
That's possible.
The smoker section, other than my car.
Smoking pit.
Yeah. It's at the docking bay.
Yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Just watch out for rats. Make sure you think rats.
I won't be feeding those rats. I get access to cheese all day. I can feed those rats.
Oh God. Anyhow, when I was still working in radio when Halley's Comet went through.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was the one. I don't know if it was Halley's or not. It was whatever with the Apple Gate, Heaven's Gate thing. Yeah. And I was traveling at I would get up at 4:30 in the morning, so I was on the road probably about 5 a.m. because I had to, as far as station, at first went on the air. I got to turn the transmitter on. There at first, you had to do that manually there for a while at 6 a.m. And then was the morning jock. Mm-hmm. So I would be traveling. Here is this weird comet thing that it lasted for days, weeks, something like that. Weird green tail on it.
That would have been cool to see.
And I was listening to Art Bell as I traveled. Of course I was.
Uh-huh. So what?
So it's just interesting things. Are you kidding? I wasn't allowed to. This is where I get to speak what I want to speak. Then used to sort of announce songs, and it was formula. It wasn't just show. But
I get you.
Interesting times, and we're alive to see this, witness this.
Mm-hmm.
I think that has a bearing in and of itself. That when we witness something and acknowledge something, and when something is exposed because it has been seen, it changes it. And that is true of quantum physics. That you had the particles. Was it a wave or was it a particle? And depending on whether or not there was an observer, it caused it to change.
Huh. See, that's weird. That's freaky.
So I think the fact that
I think
when people are paying attention and going, I see you, that changes things.
Mm-hmm.
To lift somebody up in prayer instead of kicking them while they're down, that changes things.
Mm-hmm.
And part of the bad behavior we're seeing is because nobody said, hey, don't do that.
Yeah, nobody has called anyone out on their stuff. Too many yes men.
To be people, again, afraid of being sued. That if you say something to a kid, people are not parenting. They don't realize that when they don't parent their children properly, they have done a disservice to that child, themselves, and the community at large.
Had to watch videos on anti-harassment things. Yeah. Some of that shit is literally some of the stuff that we talk about.
Yeah.
What people do, and it's like, dude, you have to have a
you
fucking
should tell
class
them,
on this.
Tell your manager to subscribe to our Cup of Coffee with Scream. You need to. Spread the word. Spread the word.
I don't know that I want to do that because I just sort of was bitching and complaining, and that's against company policy.
You what?
It's against company policy to complain about your company.
Nobody's complaining about it.
Nobody, yeah, but it can be took that way, what I'm saying about it. I have no problem with anything that is, it's like, dude, this is common sense.
And fear. These kids are growing up and they have been steeped in fear. Instead of sense of adventure and excitement, it's that constant fear. What if I mess up? What if I do something wrong? Well, guess what? You will mess up. You will do something wrong. It's just a matter of to what degree. Yeah, but it has just, I think
the fear goes further than that.
It does. It's insane to watch. And that you've had some of us that have truly been those voices crying in the wilderness. This is bad, this is bad, this is bad, stop it, stop it. And, how much can we stop and how much is not, it has to occur.
We do get full on permission to fight back with an armed robber. If necessary.
Okay.
Full on permission.
You don't have to worry about that because the cash registers are closed when y'all are working.
Yeah.
Y'all have no cash at hand.
Yeah, but still. People...
It's sitting there going, hey, hand me that box over there.
Yeah. People can still come try to rob the place at night.
Dude is former military.
Yeah, he would whoop their ass.
I bet he's sitting there going, bring it.
Probably.
Mm-hmm. Anyhow, let us know in the comment section what you think about this. Could it possibly be that these demonic strongholds that are popping up across our nation and stuff has been the result of some of these people practicing black magic?
Sudden jump. Yeah. I think that it could be, seriously, if you were on TikTok during like 2020 to 2021 when the lockdowns were doing this shit or whatever, witch talk was blowing up big time. Seriously, all these people getting into witchcraft, all these people, it was just inescapable on there at the time.
Well, again,
and all these people legit were fucking with shit that they had no idea.
Right, because it's been glamorized.
And I know for a fact some of their shit is backfired hard on them.
Well, all that stuff has been glamorized for decades.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas prior to some of the modern media and everything, it was a matter of people warning others, do not mess with this.
Mm-hmm.
You talked about those things in hushed whispers. So-and-so is the one that's like, sit there and go, no, which was not good either, because that's where somebody should have gone to them. It's like, are you doing this stuff? Do you understand what you're messing with? Don't be doing that. Because it's never worth the price, ever.
No, it's not worth the price.
No. But yeah, just let us know in the comment section. Everybody's having the paranormal and the supernatural. And if for nothing else, you are here to witness, to pray, to occasionally speak up and speak out and go, no. No, no. Yeah.
Yeah.
While you can.
Mm-hmm. We have to narc on people. We can narc. In company policy, you narc on people.
And what do you mean?
Like if they're breaking company, like one of the policies or whatever.
It depends on what degree of narking. If you've got somebody in there that's using drugs or doing something like that on the job, no, that's where you sit there and you go, no, because it puts everybody at risk.
Like shoplifters, stuff like that. We have to narc on them. Which, you know what? Perfectly understandable.
Yes, because it costs money and nothing is free.
Literally, that video explained how much they lose.
Yes.
And all that. And I'm like, well, shit.
Which the price is passed on to the consumer.
Yeah.
So shoplifting and theft is not a victimless crime.
Well, I knew it did, a lot of damage to the companies and stuff like that. I just didn't know what financially what degree.
Well, I'm glad that now they explained it.
Yeah.
You did need to know, and you can go and explain it to others.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing. At a certain point, when you have ADHD and you're unmedicated, at a certain point, all the stuff starts to muddle together.
But you know what? Anytime that you wanted to go back and review some of that information, if you ask them, I bet they would let you.
I think a good portion of it is in the handbook that they gave me,
mm-hmm.
which I did retrieve today.
Good.
I was like, I've left my book here. I'm sorry. And she's like, yeah, most people don't read these. I know it's going to end up right in the back seat.
I'll read it.
She didn't say that with me specifically, but that's what most people do. It just ends up in the back seat or something and they never touch it.
Look, we were required to read policy and procedure every year and sign off on it down at the jail. And it was long. Well, I read it every single time.
Well, in a job like that, you better read it,
Yeah.
Yeah. Comparing that to Food City, that's apples to oranges.
Not really, because a job is a job, and every place has its policy and procedure, and it's there for reasons. It's not there to oppress anybody.
No.
It just...
It's literally to make sure, like, everybody's doing their job well. And that everything is running as it should.
Yeah. If everybody would be personal accountability and responsibility, if everybody practiced that, our world will be a little bit better.
Wear a mask.
Just a little bit better.
Wear a mask, goggles, gloves when working with any chemicals.
Oh, yeah. Do not mix chemicals when cleaning the toilet.
Ever.
It was what I saw something the other day, again.
People on TikTok doing that?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's like, you idiot, you're going to make mustard gas or some shit like that.
And more than likely they did. More than likely they did. Or their toilet explodes, something like that.
Well, again, this is one of those natural selection.
I watched someone pour something into their toilet and the foam that came out of it was black. And smoking. So it's like, what the fuck did they pour into that thing?
Don't be mixing chemicals. None of it. Our people know this. The people that would do that do not listen to us.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. The people that need to know this shit, they don't watch anything like us.
Yeah. Tell the people.
They're watching brain rot on TikTok.
Yes. Yes.
If you like this video, please comment, like, share. Check us out on BitChute, Rumble, and YouTube at Rolanda's Cup of Coffee with Scream. Also, check her out on X, previously known as Twitter, at Rolanda COCWS. Thank you all for joining us. Have a good.
Know that you are loved, treat other people the way you would like to be treated. Let us pray one for another. Mm-hmm. And Lord willing, we'll see you on the next cup.
The necklace worked.
Bye.
Yeah.